Welcome to Is It ADHD or Life? A couple's perspective, where we unravel what it's like to live with ADHD within a relationship. And this week we're asking the question, is it ADHD or does everyone have 37 jobs? I am excited to unravel this one. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Look, our new picture on the back.
Who done that?
Me.
Yeah,
me.
nice. Very fancy. Well done.
Can you do me up some like business cards or something?
Yeah, you're a designer now.
Yeah.
Excellent.
How was your? Sorry, just started my timer. How has your 2 weeks been?
It's been good.
It's been quite normal, hasn't it? I think it's been quite quiet. Not been much happening. I don't think.
No, just the usual.
Yeah. I had Mother's Day yesterday. So yesterday when we recorded this.
And we organised a nice quiet night in for you. We were going to make a lovely meal and I was going to finish work and come home and cook for you.
Yeah.
And have a nice chilled out night.
Yeah.
Ended up in Wales.
Yeah, we did. And do you know what? It's funny because like I'd said the night before as well, I don't want to do anything. I just want to chill, come home and just relax and da-da-da. And I just don't think you've got it in you. We've not got it in us.
But you're an enabler.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Massive enabler.
I come up with ideas and you, yep, let's do it.
Yeah. It'd be like a choice of 4, wasn't it? Let's go to Wales, go to Liverpool, Blackpool, or stay in.
Stay in was not on the card.
I could tell that as well. Yeah. Okay, enough about our weeks then, because I think this is going to be a big topic today.
I've got a list. I've wrote. I've done prep.
Wrote down all your jobs.
Yes.
Okay, so this week's topic is all about jobs, and obviously we're going to be asking the question, like, is it ADHD, or can you just not maybe, like, not so much you, but how do people with ADHD hold down a job? Or
Yeah, I thought everybody had like a couple of career choices.
It's funny because you asked me this morning, didn't you, how many jobs I'd had.
As I was writing my list.
Yeah. And I was like 6, which I think is pretty good, and that includes when I was like 15, and I had 3 jobs at once. So I know. So like I've really only had like 3 proper jobs.
Talk me through it.
Okay, so I worked in a restaurant. The way I said that then?
Restaurant. What restaurant?
Restaurant. It was called Duke's. It's not there anymore. Oh god, the manager was horrible. I nearly swore then. And then I got my dad to ring in and say I wasn't coming back. I was really young.
28.
Yeah. I worked in a pub. And then my first big job that I got was Dorothy Perkins. But I also, at the same time as that, worked in the pub and did the jewellery in Dorothy Perkins as well, which was a separate job. Left
Trying to get the kids through college.
What?
Were you trying to get the kids through college?
Yeah. Trying to get myself through college. And then I went to Avios/BA, and that was 10 years. And we're going to touch on that in a bit of like, how do you feel about having a job for 10 years? Then I took redundancy and now I'm a teacher. So
simple.
Yes. And to me, that's how people are, but
no, that's boring.
Is it?
That's boring.
Okay, so let's start with you then. How many jobs have you had?
I
know.
I wrote this list and I think I got to about 23 this morning, and then as we were driving here I remembered a couple more.
So you wrote them down as well?
No, but we'll go through it. Things will come back to me.
Okay.
I think there might be some that I forgot about.
Okay.
So
give us some examples of jobs that you've had.
My first one was a good one.
Yeah.
My first ever job was a clown.
Very much like you are now.
But full blown. It was
I don't think I knew this.
You must have known about Coco's. It was a place that
Coco's
basically
sounds like a strip bar. It's a clown.
Basically, it was a place where I lived that everybody had their birthday parties in. Okay. And you always got a Polaroid picture with Coco the clown.
Right.
And there must be hundreds of thousands of these Polaroids still kicking about, I think. But you had to go out. Basically, it was a big baby grow you got. You put on a big baby grow. And then you had to do your own face paint. So you can imagine that.
You did face paint?
You had to do your own face.
Right, okay.
So I would come in the morning, 16, obviously just discovered cider.
Was that when you got your first job, 16?
No, maybe 15.
Okay.
I was 15, I would think, for at Coco's.
So obviously you didn't have cider then at 15?
No. I was 21 when I started. But so I would go in and you'd like that with the face paint and you come out like severe hangover.
Did you have like red rosy cheeks?
Red rosy
Oh my
cheeks,
God.
the triangles in your eyes, and the makeup. I'll never forget. You used to do your makeup in the kitchen, and honestly, it was horrific. And I remember the first time I came out to do my first party. I came out, and the little boys took my wig off and threw me in the ball pool. True story. Took my wig off, threw me in the ball pool,
Oh my
bullied
God.
me into the ball pool, wig off.
How long before?
Yeah, but I stayed there for quite a while, and there was other really important.
How long is a while though for you?
Like not a year.
That's a while.
That's a while. That a good few months. But yeah, it wasn't just being a clown. You had other serious responsibilities, like sitting at the top of the slide, the big slide, to let people down. It was like that.
Oh, hang on. So you didn't go down the slide?
No, you had
right, okay.
to sit at the top and let
Dressed
the
as a
kids
clown?
down. No, just in your uniform, because the clown was on a rota.
Right, okay.
You had to fit, so you would go to work thinking, oh God, I've not got to be Coco this morning.
No. I bet you were like, oh, I hope I am Coco this morning.
Depending on how I felt, yeah.
Okay.
And then...
Why did that end?
I don't know. There's no story about it ending or anything.
So for me, with you, you've had a few fruity endings, haven't you, for jobs?
Been,
and like that's what I can't wait to like discover today because I know there's going to be a few.
Speaking of which, my next job was McDonald's.
I always forget that you've worked at McDonald's.
Oh, McDonald's was a bad one. That was really bad.
How long did you work there for?
Again, not long. Like, I don't know. I couldn't put a time on it.
Okay.
I was very young, but again, not very long.
Did you become a manager after like 2 days?
No.
Okay. I imagine that's what they do. Sorry.
No, I never got stars. No stars.
You weren't there long enough?
No, absolutely not. McDonald's was a horrible job. It was horrible because of how busy it was. It was a hard job.
Yeah, I imagine. I don't envy, like, you see them kids that work at McDonald's and they look like they're stressed out their nuts. Like, it looks mental. I would...
Yeah. I don't understand the ones... I was never had a drive-through because it was in a shopping centre, a very busy shopping centre. But I don't understand how they do it in the driveway. They must have about a million things going on.
Yeah.
In the headset.
And especially when like you get to the window and the second someone else's order but taking your money at the same time.
No, that
High
wasn't
five.
mine, I know.
You could not.
No, I was terrible.
Multitasking at its finest.
To the point where I think at one point they took me off the towels and put me in the kitchen because I thought, no, too much for you out there.
So how did you find that one?
It was hard, but then again, I was very young and I'd just discovered going out to parties and stuff, and I came into work one morning and people at that when I was that age used to say I looked like John Hartson.
Okay.
The football
Famous
player.
footballer. Okay.
And I never spoke to anybody in work or anything. I've never had work friends, or I don't make work friends. And I know you do. And
that's something I'm going to write down a second.
Yes.
Because we'll talk about that later. Actually, I think in more detail.
But as soon as I walked in, people started shouting, "Snooze, you lose, Hartson. If you snooze, you lose, Hartson." Oh,
was that like a famous saying in Scotland? Or
what, snooze, you lose?
Yeah, like to say to him.
No.
Right.
This is them saying to me. So they were calling me Hartson,
right?
And they were just shouting at me, "If you snooze, you lose, Hartson." I'm like, "What's going on? Why is everybody? People don't even talk to me. Why they snooze, you lose, Hartson?" I still think about it. I wake up thinking about this sometimes. And then the manager asked to see me in the office, and I was like, "What's going on? I don't talk to managers. I just got on with." So I went into the office, and the manager says, "We got a party last night, Adam." Says, and he says, "Somebody wrote all over your face."
And you got into work like that?
And I went into work, and there was stuff written all over my face and all over my neck. Bad words. Pictures. And everybody's shouting, "Snooze, you lose, Adam." So I'd obviously went to the party. Hartson. I'd obviously went to the party, fell asleep and just went straight to work in the morning, took my uniform or whatever, went straight into work, not looked in the mirror the whole morning, and I had permanent marker all over my face.
They send you home?
Yeah, and I don't think I went back.
Was that the end of that job
I think
then?
that was the end of that one.
So you got bullied out of that really,
I
did
did,
you?
yeah. That was, yep.
Okay.
That was a bad one.
Yeah.
Speaking of snooze, you lose, Hartson.
Yeah.
There was a very quick one that I had. I worked in an office, and
Oof, I can't imagine working in an office.
That was horrific. And the reason I left that one was because I used to go out every Thursday night when I worked in the office. And on the Friday morning I went in, and one Friday morning I was still half cut. And I went from being the quiet guy in the office, never spoke to I get embarrassed if anybody spoke to me, to one time dancing at the bottom. The radio came on and I was dancing underneath the telly. Yeah, I never went back to that job. But
so dancing then put you off that job, okay.
And then I was living with my grandparents at the time, and I still had to tell them that I was going to work.
You told me this. Oh my God! Did you used to get dressed up and then?
I used to get dressed up, shirt and tie in the morning, and go out and spend the day on buses. And I remember falling asleep in one of the buses, and woke up and people were taking pictures of me because they thought it was John Hartson, and I was going to be in the newspaper.
I mean, now people call you Tyson Furious, so there's something going on there, isn't there?
I know. But yeah, so that was another one, The Office.
Okay.
Bad times.
We've had a variety there so far. So, McDonald, The Clown, An Office.
Yeah.
Okay, give me another.
Then I went to...
I don't know what funny ones, thanks.
Okay. I worked in the nursery for quite a while.
Yeah, so this always amazes me. When you say quite a while, though...
Oh no, I was doing an apprenticeship and stuff, and I lasted at least 3/4 of the apprenticeship, I think.
Okay, how long did the apprenticeship for?
Like 2 years.
Okay, right.
That was a proper job. Was
that your first proper, do you reckon, like...
Yeah, because I was going through the apprenticeship and stuff.
Okay. Did you want to be a nursery nurse?
I wanted to work with kids, I think.
Okay.
That was, because that's always been in my... Well, my kid's entertainer now.
No,
so
I know that. I know. I think it's one of the jokes that we would say.
That's why I left the nursery, because you get judged. People judged you.
No, I'm not judging you. You're very good with kids. I say that, but you come home and you're like, but I know some of the jokes that we would make.
But that was a big reason why I didn't like the nursery, because some of the parents looked at you funny, which I know, and I thought it was so sad because.
And it's strange because there are no men that work at our son's nursery.
No. And I think there should be.
Yeah.
There really should be.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
People think it's weird. You just proved that.
No. I'm proud of myself for stopping myself making any jokes, all right? Okay, so the nursery.
Yeah. But there was different reasons I left that.
You don't want to go into it?
No, I never. As I say, there was just different stuff that went on. And so I never completed the apprenticeship. And then decided I was moving to Blackpool.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's where the fun and games started.
That's the job.
Also, you don't know this, but I was a cleaner in Primark for a night.
No, you wasn't.
Night chef cleaner in Primark.
Wasn't.
Yep, and I'll never forget cleaning the big windows. And I hate saying Primark, it's Primark. But
not Primark, it's Primark where we come from.
And I was a cleaner, and I remember doing it with my pal, and we were cleaning the big windows outside on like Sucky Street. That terrible job, that bad
One
job.
night?
Well, maybe a couple of nights.
Okay.
I was also a call centre, worked in the call centre for 45 minutes. I went in and I was phoning people, and they were saying, I'm watching Coronation. I'll never forget it. They were, I'm watching Coronation Street. You go away. I'm watching Coronation Street. 3 people says, I'm watching I said, I'm going to watch Coronation Street. I left the office.
Was it a cold call centre? So
yeah.
you phoning them? That's okay.
So I pretended I was going to the toilet and left the office and never went back.
But they were like, I'm going to see.
I was away.
Yeah.
I've done that a lot. I've walked away from
Have
job.
You? I could never.
And then never hear from them again and never talk to them. Yeah.
It's funny because obviously we're going through all your jobs now, but obviously we will talk as well about how, looking back, obviously your ADHD probably affected a lot of these.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, like I could never imagine you being a cleaner in Primark.
No,
neither you know
can
I mean? Like, that's just baffling, isn't it?
I used to try everything, and that's definitely ADHD
Massive,
related.
yeah.
Even now, we're just saying that I still think that I would like to try this and I would like to try that, and it's always in my head.
There's not a week go by that you don't say to me,
a new
let's-
career.
Yeah. Okay. Carry on. Blackpool, yes. So you get to Blackpool and you're like, oh, well, what amazes me about Blackpool is what's that word when like it's just so typical that like you work at this place in Blackpool because it's like, I can't think of the word now, but it's like you went to the Pleasure Beach, didn't you?
Yeah. The pub was first because
oh right, okay.
Very first night I went to Blackpool, I went and had a pint in every pub and asked them if there was jobs gone. Right. And
that was fun by the end of the night.
So the next morning I woke up and this pub was on the phone to me and I thought, I don't remember being in that pub. And sure enough, I moved on the Wednesday, I started on the Friday, told them that I'd been working in pubs for years when I'd never pulled a pint.
Oh, so this is like not a DJ gig, this is actually pub
work?
work?
No, pub work.
Right, yep. Okay.
And they hit me with, it was a Scottish bar and it was a very, very busy Scottish pub and it was a Friday night and they just put me and said, right, there you go. No training, no nothing, and I just had to start. There was glasses smashing everything. It was a disaster, but it was good fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did they get rid of you?
No, I was always back and forward to that pub, and then I ended up doing karaoke in that pub.
Which pub was it?
It was a Shaggy.
Right, okay. It's not there anymore, is it?
No, I miss it. Still miss that place. That was good times. But then worked in the Pleasure Beach. Yeah. Amazing job. That was one of my favourites.
I think you feel...
I was a teddy man. so I just...
Honest to God.
All I done was walk about the Pleasure Beach, up and down, and I love Blackpool. Blackpool's one of my favourite places in the world. So,
ditto, yeah.
So to just walk up and down the Pleasure Beach all day with a bag of teddies in my back, and I
like
honestly, and a walkie-talkie saying, basically, Adam, this machine needs filled with teddies, so I would just go and fill whatever one up with it. It was ridiculous, but it was amazing.
Any secrets in like the grabbing machines? Any secrets you can give us?
Loads. It's just a numbers game,
right.
And you can set it to when it. Can set it to how many pounds it takes so that before a teddy will drop. I know, game changer. I can also tell you every smoking area in the Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Because I used to smoke about 40 a day in an 8-hour shift.
And sneaky smoking areas as well?
Yeah. And it was amazing. And they've got their own staff pub.
Nice.
Round the back that you go to with your pass afterwards. Thinking bad.
Yeah.
But that was great fun. That was a good job.
Okay, and you left there?
Yeah.
Left or sacked?
Mixture, I think. That was mutual terms. Left. Mutual terms.
Okay. And then let's remind our viewers and ourselves of the job that you got at the car wash.
Car wash, that was
this is one of my favourite stories.
So I was late a couple of times. I was late to the car wash. Hated that job. My hands were so cold and wet. And I can't
imagine you outside doing a car. Knowing what I know of you now, I can't imagine you like. You're not even cleaning your own car now. No, do you know what I mean?
No. But at the time, I needed the job.
Yeah.
And I kept being late, and the manager had to pull me in, and he was like, "Look, Adam, I'm sorry, we're going to let you go." And I was like, "Oh, please don't let me go.
Begging him.
Please, I need this job." and then I slept in the next day because.
Honest to God, if anyone, like, would you?
And I slept in, and he eventually agreed to let me have another chance. And I slept in the next day and just never went back.
I was going to say, did you ring up and say, "I'm really sorry, I've slept in," or did you just not go?
Absolutely no. Right. I've left at least 3 jobs because I've phoned in sick.
Right, okay.
And that's got to be an ADHD thing because you're worried about what everybody thinks.
Yeah,
so I've phoned in sick or got somebody to phone in sick for me when I was younger, I know. And then just never went back because I can't face it.
God. Do you think you get to a point where if something bad happens, you just like forget it? Like the whole like not like being late and stuff, and it's almost just like, oh, forget that now.
I could never walk in late to a job.
Okay.
I wouldn't walk in late.
You wouldn't just walk in at all?
I just wouldn't go in. I would either phone in sick or not go back.
Right, okay.
And that's how
crazy
genuinely
that,
done
isn't
it. And it could be 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I would rather not go in than be 10 minutes late.
Yeah.
I don't.
Really, I was just like, where's Adam? Nice not doing this today.
I think there's people still looking for me.
Probably.
From when I was 18.
Is that car wash still there?
I don't know. I don't know.
Just past it.
But 2 quick ones that you might not know about. Did you know I worked in the pier on the rides for a day?
I don't think I did.
Uh-huh.
Which pier?
South Pier.
Right, okay.
Worked in South Pier for a day on the rides. But they got their business models all wrong.
Did they?
Because they pay their staff cash at the end of the day. What's one to do? Went to the pub, get very drunk, and never went the next day.
Oh, Jesus. Is that even like a cash wage in your hand and incentivise you to go back?
No. Cash wage meant I'm going to the pub. Yes, that's brilliant.
Right.
And then never went back there.
Okay.
And the other one, do you know about the fundraising job I had?
Yeah. We spoke about this. And we were in a car somewhere and we spoke about it. So you have to go in a car with someone?
It was one of the worst experiences of my life. And I knew nothing about what was going on. I was offered a job as a fundraiser.
Was he in the army?
Yeah, for a charity similar to Help for Heroes, but it wasn't Help for Heroes. It was a similar charity. They wanted you to wear like combat gear and like combat pants or whatever.
Just like an army man.
Basically, and go to shopping centres and markets and stuff and fundraise. It was raffle tickets, and they won a Chrysler because I had to drive the Chrysler to Skipton. And honest to God. And you made commission off every ticket you sold. So I think the tickets were £5. You made £1.
Right.
So it was all about selling these tickets. But I now know that it was a scam. I know that people went to jail through what was going on. At the time, I knew absolutely nothing.
Could you have gone to jail?
Possibly, if somebody had confronted me. But people used to say to you, what regiment were you in? And I'm like, I wasn't. I worked for the charity. I was never in. But looking back now, they were obviously trying to make it look as if you were, and I was just young and gullible. And
that's why I think I fold your leg up and then just pretend you've only got half a leg. Put in a wheelchair.
It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And it was like weekends, and I'd done it for a few weekends, and we would go away to like Wales for the weekend, and it was horrible, absolutely horrible. I never made much money either because I was terrible at it. I'm not in the army. I don't know.
Do you want a ticket?
Yeah.
No thanks. Okay.
Basically, so yeah, it was a bad one. And then I ended up doing karaoke in Blackpool, which was I'd done for a long time.
So you've done DJing and stuff and karaoke and stuff for a while, haven't you? And
that's always went alongside. So in Scotland and then in Blackpool, I was always DJing, and I think that's why I could like hop about from job to job as well, because there was always like something coming in with the DJing. And
as well, obviously got a lot of free time because karaoke and DJing was probably evenings and weekends. And maybe you found yourself in the daytime kind of a bit like
bored.
Yeah.
As we say, even now I'll get, because most of my work this evening and weekend.
Tuesday you were supposed to have a job interview, wasn't you? For
and Friday.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that about that one. Tell me about, so you had, we know that you've set up a few businesses. Yeah. But we're not going to delve into that today, are we?
That's another episode.
It's another episode. But again, that's kind of like always run side by side with what you do now as well. So the kids entertaining then. So you kept that going for, 14 years now? Yeah. Why do you think that is?
That's what I always wanted to do. Okay. And I know that from, like, in my first jobs, I was buying magic tricks with my money, which sounds sad, but it was what I always wanted to do from growing up and Butlins holidays. And once I got where I wanted to be, then that stuck, and I still love it. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't like it, because I don't think you can. I
completely agree with you, but you wouldn't be doing it if you didn't love it, because it takes a lot for you to kind of like stick at something, if we're being honest. Okay, I've got some ADHD stuff then. Oh, do you want to carry on with your job?
I just want to make sure there's no really good ones that I've missed. Later on, we had several warehouses ranging from plastic been up to my waist in plastic bottles because I couldn't work the machine, to the pillow factory, which is not good with a hangover.
Did you fall asleep there?
No, I was getting comfy, very comfy place to work.
Right. You're not supposed to try them.
One warehouse I left because they wanted us to work past 3 o'clock on Christmas Eve. Backdoored it. Not having that. Christmas Eve's family time. Premier Inn, we discussed it the last on
that was your Mars bar upset. Snickers, sorry.
I used to eat about 8 Snickers a night out the vending machine. That was costing me more money to go to work, and I was putting on a lot of weight. One that we've not mentioned is through COVID.
Of course, yeah.
So, by the way, I was a window cleaner for a day.
Well, why are windows disgusting?
Because I was terrible at it. Again, cold hands. COVID. There was 2 main jobs during COVID.
Yeah.
I worked at Amazon. I worked at the Amazon warehouse, and they had a thing called VTO, which was voluntary time off.
Yeah.
And I done night shift, and they would come round at a certain time of night and say, "Anybody want VTO?" And I was like, "What's this VTO?"
Either leave or chocolate. Do you know what I mean? They're the 2 things.
So VTO was you could just leave. Obviously, you never get paid because it was voluntary.
Yeah.
But you could leave the shift. They had too many people, and you could leave. I was like, I have a bit of that action. So I would just leave as soon as they come round. That's how it started. Then it went to, I was watching for them coming round.
Oh my God, like a meerkat.
So I'd only been in an hour and a half, and I'm like, I think they're ready. And then they started sending you messages before your shift. That was a dream. Anybody know what to come in? Yes, please. So I ended up doing about 3 hours a week.
There's a similar thing when I worked at Avis, actually, where you could leave on the day, so holidays on the day, or in January they did a thing where just before Christmas, where you could take time but you have to work it back in January. And the first year I was there, I was like, yeah, I leave today, and he ended up working like every day, every hour during January because I'd had all that time off.
I would have left before January.
Yeah, you'd have gone and just not gone back.
How can you work in a place for 10 years? How?
So I enjoyed it for a start. Loved the people that I work with. And like I mentioned before, so like work friends, I've made work friends that I'm still friends with now. You've obviously not made work friends. No. Why is that?
Well, I'm never there long enough.
Well, very true, actually. But as well, I suppose your main job now, being a kids entertainer, you wouldn't really make friends in that field, would you, I guess?
No.
You would have acquaintances of like other kids entertainers that you would speak to, but you would never necessarily...
No, you don't build close...
Yeah, but I guess being in my environment, working in the contact centre, so very close to people, my team were brilliant. So I suppose that's how I made friends with them, really.
But I'm so socially awkward as well, so I would never have the confidence to speak to anybody.
Whereas I'm like a bit of a social butterfly, for me to say myself. Like, and obviously when we went home working, I hated it because I needed to be around people. COVID has a lot to answer for.
Yeah, you were so busy when you worked at home as well. That's when I first met you, when you were working at home.
Don't talk about that.
Oh, it's only my stories.
Yeah. I've got an image to uphold, okay?
So then I had the main job during COVID, which was, I ended up manager of I started working in a COVID testing centre, which at the time it was an amazing job. Yeah. Really enjoyed it. It felt as if you were doing something, and there were strict rules in place, and it was good. Yeah. I enjoyed it. It was really good. Then the opportunity came up to manage a team. And
whoever put you as a manager, I will never
honest to God. And I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And hated it, absolutely hated it. It wasn't, I hated having to deal with, but I had to sack somebody. Can you imagine me sacking somebody? Really? I had to have that conversation with them until twice I done it. And I had to be strict. Because of what you were dealing with, I had to be strict.
And the girl kept coming in late and stuff. Yeah.
And then there was one. Remember the time somebody phoned me in the morning and they were sitting in the car park and they had came to work in their slippers?
Yes! Yes!
He says, Adam, I've drove here in my slippers and they lived like half an hour away. I've came in my slippers and I've left my boots in the house. How do you know what we're dealing with? Oh, and I was so stressed. And it wasn't a stress, it didn't need to be a stressful job.
No.
I met some lovely, lovely people that were all the managers were all dealing with it. They didn't understand that why I wasn't dealing with it, kind of thing, and it was just too much for me. It was horrible. It was horrible.
The thing that killed you off of them was the paperwork. Didn't it?
Do you
remember it built up and built up and built up, and then you were like, "I'm leaving."
Yeah, because I hadn't done it, and I hadn't done it for, let's say, 2 days or 3 months. One of them somewhere.
I'm gonna go 3 months.
And instead of looking back now, if I'd went to somebody and says, look, I'm struggling here, it wasn't hard work.
No.
It was boring, monotonous work that you had to fill in every night. And because of that, then the worry was going to... I wasn't sleeping at night because of the worry of this paperwork, all that had to be... And in the end, I went and spoke to the big boss and says, look, I can't manage the team anymore. And I'll never forget the way he looked at me, because he was like, really? Because of the difference in money, and it wasn't a hard job.
The relief that went through you, though, when you stopped being a manager was absolutely... I noticed a difference in you and stuff. And do you remember the day when you went in and the COVID site couldn't open and you came home and you were like buzzing, like...
That was honestly what... I worked Christmas Day in the COVID site and... enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that job. It was good. But obviously it came to an end and everything. In fact, I left before it came to an end because...
everything got a bit too much, I guess.
After I was a manager, I never went back to work in a team because COVID was ending and parties were coming back. So I ended up come back to the kids' entertainment. Yeah. But it was very good.
Yeah.
And the stories, honestly, the slippers, I'll never forget the slippers. I can't think anything that beats the slippers. Just imagine, how do you go to work in your slippers?
People. So let's talk about the ADHD side of things then, with your jobs. So I've got it here that it says there are challenges and strengths. Okay, so challenges like impulsivity, difficulty with focus, time management can make certain jobs difficult. And I think that's definitely something that you've touched on today. So, for example, time management. Yeah. Do you struggle with time management in general? Yeah,
I struggle with time management. I'll either go two ways. Yeah. So I'll either be late or really, really early. And I've had to factor that in everything I do, basically. Now I tend to be really early.
Oh, very early, and that's good. Yeah. So looking back now then, before obviously ADHD was a thing and stuff, do you think that's one of the biggest problems that you've had with your jobs? That
I think it's been a major thing. Yeah. Because, as I say, I would, if I was late, I just wouldn't go back. Yeah. And there's been a lot, the more that I think about it, that I'm thinking about places that I've just never went back to because I was going to be late that morning.
Crazy that, isn't it?
And I think that comes under time management and then the fear of being judged.
So it's embarrassment?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're late by 5 minutes, surely that's better than not going in at all and letting them people down.
But I don't think like that.
No.
I was just thinking, no, they'll
it's about you,
anyway. So.
I guess. Yeah. But you might not have got sacked. You probably wouldn't have got sacked, but that's where your head goes.
Wouldn't have, but that's where my head went.
Crazy. What about impulsivity then?
That's...
it's a big thing, isn't it?
Because what if, you're doing one job, but then you see that other job.
So the grass is not always greener though, is it? But yeah.
And yet there's always that. I want to try that.
Yes.
Remember I volunteered one time?
Oh my God, yeah. And then you got accused of stealing meat. Didn't you?
I volunteered for one day in a big van.
Yeah.
And I came back and they phoned me at night asking if I'd stole a ham shank.
Yeah. I was just like, I love you.
I was doing my good deed for the day.
I thought you get yourself into some tricky situations. Honestly, I've never known anything like it. I've never met anyone like you. Difficulty with focus. Yeah. Difficulty with focus.
Yeah, I think that comes under the same thing. So you can't focus, whether it be paperwork or boring stuff. You can't focus on boring stuff.
So do you reckon it's a boring thing for you then?
Yeah, you lose focus.
Because with kids' parties, they're different every time, aren't they? Like the different kids, and I guess that's
not the show that's been the same for 10 years.
The show's not the same. The show's the same, and I think that's probably why you've probably stuck at it for so long, maybe. Okay, so strengths.
Right.
People with ADHD can be highly creative, energetic, and good at multitasking, which can be valuable in certain roles. So I'm not quite sure that you're good at multitasking.
No.
But creative and energetic.
Yeah,
you've got to be.
If I'm enjoying something, then I'll put everything into it.
Yeah.
I will give 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That smile says something different though.
No,
then.
it's because I don't really enjoy that much.
No, but you enjoy being a kids entertainer.
Yeah.
And you do put all your effort into that, which is amazing.
But if you ask me to do paperwork or, in other jobs, or if you're in a... No, do you know what? I think... No, change it. I'm changing it.
Okay.
Every job that I've done, when I'm doing it, put everything into it.
Yeah.
I give it my all.
Yeah.
Because I'm scared the
You don't want
manager.
to be judged. Yeah.
So I think that could come into the energetic
Yeah.
thing, because I do give everything.
It's just that then you're late the next day and just go back.
Yeah, just don't go back.
Okay. Okay, so workplace strategies. So you like to have a structured work environment, would you say?
Yeah, I like being told what to do.
To be fair, your job is quite structured though, because you've got a party at 2, you've got a party at 5. So like it is structured in the sense that you know when and where you're going.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I'm just thinking about other jobs. I like the structure because I like just going in and being told what to do.
Yeah.
And then you do it and then you're away. I like that.
Yeah. To be fair, I've got a bit like that since I think having a family and stuff. I've got a bit like, I just want to go into work, do my job and come home again. Whereas before, maybe I had a little bit more ambition, but I know it's bad that. Like, now my family's my ambition. Breaking down tasks.
Right.
Taking frequent breaks.
I like that.
Can help mitigate the challenges.
Did I mention the 40 a day at the Pledge of Peace?
One big break. I like this, jobs that might be a good fit. Okay, so creative fields, and that's what you're in now. Hands-on roles, a first responder, hospitality workers.
First responder.
Can you imagine?
Oh no, absolutely. No, with my brain.
Not you. No. Sales and entrepreneurship. Now that's obviously something we will come on to in another podcast, another episode. But
I tried to sell Google once.
Oh,
I don't mean to sell Google. I mean, what were you guys?
No. I was going to say what you did sell, but that's part of your business.
I was selling advertising space in Google.
Right.
And I was terrible.
I can't imagine you being a very good salesperson.
I was the worst in the world.
You're not pushy enough, are you?
No, absolutely not. Okay, don't want it. Fine, thank you. Yeah. And my name was always at the bottom of the list. So can you imagine me going into that sales office in the month? That never lasted.
Teaching in childcare, which you tried.
Yeah.
And you work with kids now. Journalism.
Oh, definitely. I'm good.
You're writing that down, aren't you? Going to be a journalist.
Going to be a journalist.
In my next life.
Do you know what I've always wanted to be?
Go on.
Private detective.
Oh, Jesus. To be fair, you're good at that. Spend all your time on Facebook, just like Googling people.
I'm getting business cards written up when we go back.
You're pretty good at finding people and stuff, though, to be fair. Did you find me? This is like last week's episode, but did you find
trees.
me? Yeah. Christmas trees, of course, yeah. Jobs that might be challenging. Roles requiring prolonged focus. Tick, because you cannot focus on something for so long. Roles requiring self-organisation. Tick, because let's face it, you're not very organised. And roles requiring...
I've got a confession.
Oh, go on.
I paid someone last week to go through my emails. Sorry.
How much did you pay this person?
I don't want to talk about that.
Oh my God.
She's done a very good job.
Does she work for you now?
Fiverr.com.
Are you a manager?
No, I can't handle stress. Only freelancers.
I'm glad you don't tell me these things, to be honest, because I don't want to know. I like to just stay out of it. Okay, so...
I've got another confession
Oh,
to
my
make.
God, no, I don't think this is... All time. Come on.
She done such a good job. I paid her again. She done my other email inbox.
Oh, my gosh.
Sorry. Okay. What were you saying?
No. Let's go back to this. So, that's part of your job. Like, not your job, but like, you get emails and stuff. Why can't you just do it yourself?
Because
Boring.
She's done lovely wee folders and everything.
Because you've not got any self-organisation and you've not got any prolonged focus. Oh, my God. Honestly. Secrets in our relationship. So, talk about the kids' entertainer thing then. Why do you think you've stuck at that for so long?
Because it's good, it's creative.
No, it is though.
It's energetic and it's... Yeah.
Okay. You've done it for 14 years?
I love making people happy, do you know?
Okay, yeah.
And...
You're a people pleaser?
Yeah, I also like it because people say that I'm quite good at it, and that makes a big difference. Because
So I don't want to like blow smoke at your ass, but you are good at it, very much so.
But it's good to be told that it's an ego boost, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. That's the biggest thing you can give like an ADHD, isn't
I
it?
do it for the reviews.
Oh my gosh. I spent 10 years in my job before I took redundancy. Do you think you could do that? So I know you've spent 14 years being a kids entertainer, but it's a bit different. Like,
not in a job.
Okay.
Not 9 to 5. I cannot think of anything.
And this is an office job,
Yeah.
9 to 5. Okay.
No.
Could you ever imagine yourself doing that?
No.
Why?
The monotony.
Monotony.
It's over. It's finished. Podcast cancelled. The boredom,
Yeah.
the same people, same thing.
Okay.
No, just
What would be your perfect job?
cheesiest. I think I'm in it.
Okay,
I've
right,
got
okay.
it. Without a doubt, I won't do anything else. I want to do this until I can't do it, basically.
Till you retire?
Yeah, that's not to say that I won't have several things going Tuesday, Wednesdays. Still like to try. I like to dip my toe.
Driving the funeral cars?
Yeah. But I
It's your perfect job?
Yeah.
Yeah? Cool. I think we've unravelled a lot of your jobs there.
Sorry, that was very Adam heavy.
It was
Just
very Adam heavy. But
I'm
that's
sorry.
okay, because it's interesting to see why you can't last at these jobs, and it's interesting to know that throughout your life you didn't know ADHD wasn't a thing, you didn't know you had it and stuff, but looking back now, it's been such a huge factor in why maybe you couldn't hold down a job, and a lot of it has probably stemmed from embarrassment and timekeeping.
I think that's been a game changer.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where when you find out about it and you look back and you think, how different could that have been if I'd known, like,
exactly.
all the different...
Imagine all the things that you might have done that stuck out, or you might have tried and stuff like that. It's crazy, that, isn't it?
It is. It's...
Yeah. Okay. Now it's time for our 5-minute moan. I don't think I've got one prepared. I think I'm on the top of my head. Believe me.
Okay. Oh.
I'm joking. Okay, so I can't even remember what last times were. Oh, mine was cutting bread on the cutting your baguette on the side. To be fair, it's got better, but I don't think we've had baguettes in.
No, there's
that's
been
why.
no baguettes in.
Stop buying them. That's why. And I can't remember what yours was. Oh, darts. Playing darts challenges. And we went home and we did.
Yep, we did.
We did just
brought
that.
Back.
Okay. So this week, mine is. I feel like I'm digging at you all the time. I don't mean to, but I guess that's what this is for, to moan. Why do you never clean the high chair when the baby's like had his tea and he's ready to get out? Why is it always me that does it?
So I've been struggling being a stay-at-home single father recently, and it's just one. It's one of the jobs where by the time he's ready to get out of the high chair, he's ready to do something else.
Yeah.
So then you move on to doing that other thing, and the high chair gets put to the side.
Oh no, it's not. It's not put
Oh,
to
you
the
mean
side.
the tray?
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't fit in the sink.
No. So we're all having tea together,
Right.
and he's finished. Why is it always me that has to pick the food off the
Oh,
the
because
tray?
it's disgusting.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Just
I hear you.
Yeah.
But it's disgusting.
Okay, so it's just always going to be a me job.
And he eats a lot of cheese. I don't
Yeah, he
like the
does.
feel of cheese, I've realised.
Right, okay.
Especially soggy cheese.
And when the spag bol gets put on the floor and...
Plus, you do it better.
Don't do this. Okay, so now I learn that that's something I've just got to live with. Okay, you go.
Again, I've not got one prepared. I've got a really big one, but I'm saving that because it's been Adam heavy today.
Oh no, come on, you can't say that and then not reveal it.
Why do you only have princess water? Why can you not just be normal and drink water at the tap and you're diluting juice?
I have recently.
Because there was no water in.
No, because it's been cold out the tap. Because it's been cold outside.
But nobody likes making you drink because you need specific glasses, you need specific juice, and you need specific water.
So I like my drinks to be very cold. So I like the water out the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
And
Strength.
Sorry?
Certain strength.
No, just not a strength as strong as what you have it. And if I do have water on its own, cannot drink tap water. It's absolutely disgusting. So I've got to have bottled water.
Water on its own I get, and I understand that, and
Okay.
that was fine. But you're taking the drink thing to a new level. Now, it's, even with glasses, specific glass. So specific glass.
I've got a few specific glasses. I hear you.
Yeah.
However, let's just put forward the fact that when was the last time you made me a drink?
I don't like doing it because
Right.
there's so many demands.
There's not that many demands. Your daughter finds it fine, and she's our main drinks maker.
She has
And she does a great job of it. And I think that sometimes you're a bit selfish because you don't make the drinks.
I deliberately don't. I'll go into the kitchen and sneakily make myself one and drink it so I don't need to ask you. Mine are going to the cupboard, make it, drink it, and that's fine. Yours involves fridges and 5 cupboards, and it's a lot of effort. Just have a can of Coke.
I hear you, but yeah, it's not going to change. No. Okay, let's just say that you won't ever clean the tray, and I won't ever ask you for a drink then.
Good deal.
Amazing. Last bit then. So I've got some stories about jobs, people addicted in jobs. Not very positive as such, because I think that a lot of people might struggle unless they find something they absolutely love. And sometimes it's not that easy, is it? Because, work is, you've got to take work when you can nowadays. So this person's had a hard time going to work and have for a long time. Before that, it was school, it was college, it was uni. It's so boring, it drives them crazy. They see other people going to work and being okay with it, but for them, work is borderline torturous. Is that the way for everybody? Is it people with ADHD, or is it just this person? I think you can probably relate to that.
Have you ever had a job that you get the fear of God in you going to work every morning?
Never.
See, I've had that a few times, and it's horrible.
So that's obviously like the brain, like your brain, isn't it? Like the ADHD brain, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a horrible feeling, and I've left a lot of jobs just because and it's me that's done it.
It's mental, that, isn't it? I know for a fact I can't handle desk jobs or boring stand-around jobs. The brain just wants to melt and it makes them miserable. They now have a busy warehouse job that supports them and keeps them busy. This was interesting, they start at 1 a.m, 10-hour shift. And they actually really enjoy that schedule because it's not the typical 9 to 5 and they get the early mornings themselves. And I think that's something as well that you handle okay.
Yeah, I love night shift.
Like night shifts, yeah.
Yes, I think night shift works better. I think everybody's got a different time.
Yeah.
And mine is definitely night time,
shift.
and I love the bit. I tried the warehouse for 3 nights last year. Remember?
Yes.
It just never worked with the schedule, but I loved the job. I loved being active the whole time, and it was really
just
good.
Wasn't the right time, I guess, wasn't it? So this was interesting. So this person basically loves their sleep. Okay. And when they were working in the office, they would always be late or just on time when they need to log on for 9 o'clock. They would also eat their breakfast there because then it gave them an absolute minimum amount of time to get ready in the morning. Again, I think that you can relate to that massively. They would also take sick days when not sick because they just couldn't get up and be human.
Yeah.
Now they work from home. And they feel they're really pushing the boundaries with how late they log in. They find it so hard to get up, and they can't bring themselves to be online for 9 a.m. They never answer the work phone because they're not in an office, so they don't have to be seen to answering it. And they put off the boring tasks that aren't essential, have got no deadline. So I think a lot of this is very much the ugly side of ADHD with work. Would you agree?
Yeah. I don't... Yeah, I completely understand all of that. I cannot imagine how people work at home with ADHD. I certainly couldn't. There's not a chance.
I don't have ADHD, and I couldn't work from home because I tried it and I hated not being around people. Yeah. But I think for me that's a different mindset to you. Your thing is that you wouldn't have that get up and kind of like go to get stuff done.
Unless somebody told me every hour this needs to be done. Yeah. For then that's what would help me, I think.
Interesting. Yeah. I found them stories interesting, or the messages, because it was almost showed the ugly side to it. And we have a friend as well, I'm sure you won't mind me mentioning, he's got ADHD, and he's had about 600 different jobs as well. And again, like, it's all about just that mindset, isn't it? Of like,
even now, sit and think, I'm still thinking of other stuff. There's been so many. I think it must be near 40 jobs. And
interesting. So, is it ADHD?
It's 100% ADHD.
I think so. I think it is. That's it for this week. Follow us and speak to us on our socials. Send in your good, bad and ugly messages to adhdorlife@gmail.com. And you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok and YouTube, and it's ADHD or Life Pod.
I would love comments. Comments will make me feel really good.
Yeah, we've had a few comments on TikTok this week, actually. So, comment on anything that you see. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.